Shane McMahon wanted to run AEW. Plus, an NXT Champion made a shock TNA debut last night, and The Rock is making his WWE return tonight. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. So last summer, we had that clandestine photo appear of Shane McMahon and Tony Khan having a secret meeting. And it all went a bit quiet.
It certainly did. Lots of people speculating that Shane McMahon wanted to be on the telly. He wanted to actually be a performer, but it seems that may not be the case.
No, this is something else. Yeah. So that conversation that went very quiet has been reignited after Vince Russo and Jonathan Coachman talked about it on the Coach and Bro show. And they shared some details. A coach shared some details that he'd been privy to about the meeting, saying that in that meeting, Shane McMahon had asked for equity in AEW and wanted to run the entire show. He wanted to run everything. Following this meeting and this offer, very generous offer from Shane McMahon, Tony Khan reportedly ghosted him, like you do, when you go on a bad date. No further conversations between the sides have taken place. So we know a little bit more via Fightful, don't we?
We certainly do. They add, according to a source close to Shane McMahon, Khan did not follow up with Shane, confirming the earlier statement. The source also claimed that they couldn't speak on the desire for equity, but that it seemed like Shane McMahon did want to run things, but didn't have the product knowledge or familiarity with AEW or their business model. That source close to McMahon also said that Shane didn't seem to take it personally, that Khan didn't follow up after that, and that it seemed like Khan almost thought Shane was joking when he mentioned the possibility of running everything. Right, I'm gonna compliment Shane McMahon here, so stick with me.
Really good at jumping off stuff.
Really high things.
Really
very
high things.
That's it. He's a guy who grew up in professional wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. He's been around the business for an awful long time. If he came in and was just seeking equity as a full-time advisor, a backstage business consultant, because he's gone away from WWE and he's done other things, it's not necessarily an unreasonable offer. But to approach Tony Khan, who is running an incredibly profitable wrestling organization, and go, yeah, I want to run things now, when the company financially are doing very, very well indeed, I think is an absolutely mental offer.
It really is. It's certainly an interesting one. That's
wild.
It is. It's wild, if you will. That source close to Fightful and to Shane McMahon says there was some light conversation, maybe about him appearing on AEW TV. Nothing really confirmed. A cameo hasn't been ruled out, but certainly when it comes to working together business-wise, that doesn't look like that's going to happen. I don't think Shane would come in if it was just for an appearance. Shane would want to be a bit more involved, as you were saying.
Yeah, for sure. I thought the whole thing was a big old work PR stunt sort of thing. So that picture got leaked, and wasn't it in an airport conference room or like a lounge area business meeting room that you can book out? I was like, how does that get leaked? That's like what? Some airport employee wandered in and snapped a photo. It's like, no, this is bollocks. But actually, it might have been true. It might have been a real thing. Stranger things have happened.
I wanted that airport employee to walk in with a tea tray and like a really big hat with a hole suspiciously in the middle. Hello, here's your tea. That'd have been amazing. I don't think we see him on telly, which is a shame, because I feel like all this stuff with Moxley and his magic briefcase, I feel like the payoff was always going to be, because Moxley's whole thing has been, hey, there's wheels within wheels, you don't know the full story, hey, there's, you don't know what's going on, and it was going to be Shane.
In the briefcase.
Yeah, he just pops out. Hey! I think he was going to be like a mastermind behind it, but
it's so terrible, though, isn't it?
It is,
which is why I want to see it, because it's really like it would make tremendously entertaining wrestling television in the worst possible way, and we can talk about it in lists for years.
Oh, exactly. I just think it needs an ending at some point, and
sooner rather than
because I'm not a writer, but I often find that when you're writing a story, you should have an end planned. I just don't feel like they've got one with this. I thought maybe Shane might have been the one.
It doesn't feel that way. I think you do have to be patient, but I'm losing patience with the storyline personally.
Like a terrible doctor, I'm losing patience. Now, last night, TNA had a live episode of Impact from Full Sail University. That's where NXT used to be.
Oh, they stacked it. They did.
Really did. And it started off in grand form.
Yes, Joe Hendry opening the show with an encore concert. He did a song name-dropping Sheamus, Miz, Roman Reigns, saying that he would have won the Rumble had it not been for Roman Reigns, and invites anyone who doesn't believe him to cross the line if you can't see me. Do you see what he's doing? He wants the match. Hendry interrupted randomly by the Colognes, Primo and Epico, obviously. And they were quickly drowned out, doing a big Healy promo by "Where's Carlito?" a chance. But he's got back up as Joe Hendry. Out comes the former Elias. Elijah has now joined TNA Wrestling.
He has indeed. They had a tag match in the main event that Elijah won, getting the pin with a lovely pile driver. And it was revealed by Fightful Select later on that Elijah has indeed joined TNA. And that leads to some questions about the fact that just the other week we had that promo with Elijah and the Righteous from Ring of Honor.
I'm a little bit gutted about this. Fair play to Elijah, the former Elias, for getting full-time employment with TNA. Good for him, get paid, all that stuff. I found those the video that came out with Elijah and the Righteous fascinating.
Really
I was like, wow,
good.
this is proper must-see stuff. It's a proper bit of character development for Elijah, and it really felt like he'd just gone back to WWE's Elias, but with a new name last night. So I'm a little bit disappointed about that. Only because I wanted to see where it went.
Yeah, I don't think we ever will now. But we'll find out as maybe the next Ring of Honor, they might shed some light on it. Who knows? I don't know. That wasn't the only set of surprises that we had on Impact last night, was it?
That's right. The Hardys and Leon Slater getting beaten up by the system. They were rescued by, of all people, the NXT Champion, Oba Femi, cleaning house, standing tall with the Hardys, and it was later announced that they would team up against the system on next week's show. Obviously, Oba Femi got some beef with Moose right now. It's all kicking off there. I'm well up for that. I think that'll be a good laugh.
Yeah, I love Oba Femi. Big fan of Oba's work. He's like, I want him to go onto the main roster and just be like the Thanos from Infinity War of the main roster, just obliterate everybody.
He's the closest thing they've had to Brock since Brock, isn't he? Like he could come in and when he gets to the main roster, I really hope they present him as this unstoppable force as he is right now in NXT.
Now, Oba Femi wasn't the only NXT star to cross the line yesterday. Cora Jade had a sneak attack on the Knockouts World Champion Marsha Slamovich, and it was confirmed that a TNA sacrifice, Cora, is challenging Marsha for the Knockouts title.
That's good. It feels a bit more even, this NXT TNA relationship, doesn't it now? Because at the beginning there was a lot of criticism about NXT, WWE getting the good ones out of TNA and then sending them, I'm not going to name names, but sending them people who maybe aren't on the same level as like a Joe Hendry coming in or whatever. So it's good to see, and I think that'll be a great match. I think Masha Slamovich is class as well. I think she's really, really special, so that'd be cool.
And she's been getting some love online from Natalia, because Natalia has been welcoming people to the dungeon as she does, and recently Masha Slamovich has been there, a man like Doris has been there, and Rio's been there. There was a lovely tweet from Natalia about Masha the other day, so she's obviously one that they like as well within the WWE system as well.
Good.
Very likely.
Understandably.
Only Cora from NXT Wrestling at Sacrifice. Wesley, Tyson and Tyreek are going to be facing the Rascals and Ace Austin in a trios match at Sacrifice as well. That'll just be a really fun match.
Yeah, agreed.
A very fun time. To WWE we go, where just as we were all, heading off to bed at the end of a busy day, some were staying up a little bit late, burning the midnight oil. An update on tonight's episode of SmackDown perks us all right up.
That's right. The Rock's going to be there. He's been announced. WWE issuing a press statement saying that The Rock is going to be there, added very, very last minute. And this is interesting as well because they had just released a video with the general manager going, 2 new matches have been announced. That's been deleted now, so Rock's time is cut into a couple of matches. But yeah, Rock is going to be there. It's in the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, which is the reported site of next year's WrestleMania as well. So is he just coming in to go, hey, we're coming back, it's a big show, or is this setting up something for this year's Mania?
Or is he just going to count to 4 this time?
Maybe he's learning. He's always learning. So yeah.
Well, what Triple H said in the press release that came after this announcement was interesting. He said, strap in. When the final boss shows up at this time of year, the audience knows absolutely anything is possible. Everything could change in an instant.
Has he just gone, I'm having the match with Cody after all?
Yeah.
Is this like, don't get me wrong, it's a match that I'd really like to see. is he going to be heel? Is he going to be babyface? I can't work it out. He can do whatever the hell he wants.
I mean, he tried to last year. That didn't quite go to plan.
No, that's true. That's true. If he wants to be on the WrestleMania card, obviously he's going to be on the WrestleMania card, and obviously it's going to be a main event. And I think it would be against Cody Rhodes. So what does John Cena do if he's going to be winning the Chamber? He's not going to be winning the Chamber anymore. What the hell's going to happen? Is The Rock going to be in the Chamber?
I like The Rock last year went, I tried to shoehorn my way into the title match and no one liked it. I know what I'll do this year. I'll shoehorn my way into a title match. They won't expect it.
It's different,
They won't expect it twice.
Because
there's a story behind it.
Yeah, a story that they ended at the Raw premiere. I can't work it out. It's bonkers, isn't it? It is really, really bonkers. I'm fascinated by what he's going to do tonight. He might just come in, go, hey, like WrestleMania's coming, and then beat up some geek or something and just do a people's out. I don't know. I have no idea.
Because he was announced for a role in the new Martin Scorsese crime thriller, which would suggest that's going to tie him up filming-wise. So whatever he does, he's only got a small... Filming. He's always doing something, isn't he?
He's always doing something. He just squeezes WWE in where he can.
Yeah, so maybe there is a window that is WrestleMania-sized. We'll find out in the next 24 hours, I reckon. And of course, the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.